listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good,
The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com. And streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's WWE Monday Night Raw After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE Monday Night Raw After Show.
Yeah, there we go. We got the flow going. We got the music going.
Who knows the words?
You know, I always mess it up.
I'm at the corner just in time to see the bus drive by. It's all right, 'cause I'm saved by the bell. You know the second verse?
No.
When the teacher pops a test, that's enough.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to AfterBuzz TV, brought to you by Bing, where Bing is for doing, and we're here doing another live Monday Night Raw After Show recap.
Yeah.
My name is Ryan GQ Money Katz, and as usual, I'm joined by my tag team triple threat of broadcast brilliance. That's Ryan Morals Clum,
Oh, yeah.
Josh JP Female Demo Padgett, and Cathy Fatal Attraction Kelley. And we're joined tonight by a very special guest who just so happens to be the best. That's right, the best principal of all time, the heart and pride of Bayside High. The show's got a cult following, and he's one of those reasons why he puts the pal in principal.
Bring it,
He
Smiley!
is Dennis,
Bring it!
Mr. Belding Haskins. Yeah, baby. You know, we had Jericho on a few weeks ago, and I don't think I could be marking out as much as I'm marking out for Mr. Effin Belding right now. Yeah.
I have a question I've been waiting for years to ask.
That's the best introduction I ever had.
For you. Only for you.
Man.
I still have been wanting to know for years, how did Bayside move from Indiana to California? Just boom, like that.
Bayside didn't.
Okay. Oh, it didn't.
No, Good Morning Miss Bliss was a show set in Indiana with JFK Junior High School.
Oh, okay.
Then Disney sold the rights to NBC to the characters of Zach, Screech, Lisa, and Mr. Belding, and they moved us to the Palisades and Bayside.
Gotcha.
So as Undertaker would
Bayside
say,
didn't move.
rest in peace to Miss Bliss.
So Miss
And
Bliss-
instead, the rise of the new king, Mr. Belding.
So they took the Miss Bliss episodes and repackaged them as Saved by
They
the Bell. then.
retitled them, yeah, but
Gotcha.
those are any truest will know. Just like you guys know deep inside wrestling, you know the independents, you know the history. That was Miss Bliss. Then there's Saved by the Bell,
Gotcha.
and then there's the new class and the new class. The new class.
Man, this is a pleasure for me to have you on the show.
Thanks, man.
Before we get into talking wrestling, because you're obviously a huge, diehard pro wrestling fan, let's talk some game shows. Because in doing a little research on you, I noticed you were on the game show Scrabble.
Yes.
One of my favorite game shows of all time, The Plunger, man.
Here's the best part of that whole story. That show was on stage 3 at NBC Burbank, and I got within a half a second of winning. I won like $5,000. Guess which stage Saved by the Bell started on at NBC?
Stage 3.
And guess whose dressing room I had Chuck Woolery?
That's amazing.
Talk about coming full circle.
As someone who went to college to become a game show host, I love things like that.
Wow.
I love game shows.
I was on Card Sharks. I was on.
Really?
Yeah, the remake back in like late 90s.
What's the most money you ever won on a game show?
I seem to always blow it in the big round. So I blew. I would have won about 9,000 on Card Sharks, but I went higher on a 9. Because no face cards had shown yet.
Bad
so
card.
I was just like
9 card right in the middle.
I thought if I went for it and on the lower like everyone wanted, I was like, I'm gonna get screwed, and there comes the king, and like.
Okay, I did one other game show. Home Shopping Game was on the last 2 days of the game. Bob Goen hosted it. You ready? $34,500.
Unbelievable.
Thank you.
There is nothing like free money from a game show. I was on
and
NBC's.
what are the taxes on that? Like over 50%? It's like ridiculous, right?
You could income average the year before.
Oh,
You
okay.
could income average for 3 years, but not the year I won. It was like 50-something%. Crazy. Wow. But you know what? Thank you, God. I'm glad I had it. Let's talk wrestling.
Let's talk wrestling. One more thing before we talk wrestling. I got to send one last shout out to my mom, Birdie, recovering from knee surgery right now.
Mama Smiley,
so she's convalescing in bed, watching a little AfterBuzz, checking out Mr. B.
There you go.
And we're going to start it off Monday Night Raw, Washington, D.C., go-home edition before WrestleMania 29. We've had some disappointing runs on this road to WrestleMania. And
really
I think
bad episode 2 weeks ago.
I think they picked it up a little bit tonight,
Yes,
and we're on track for Mania.
This episode should have happened 3 weeks ago, though.
I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
It's kind of shocking when you see this whole road to WrestleMania in the build. Last 2 weeks have been just some.
They've had some problems in creative, so I think that might cause a little bit of it.
It's true.
Even with changes of staff and getting rid of someone, you got to think that they had stuff so, you would think that it'd be planned out, that you got Mania set up, that even if everyone on the staff was gone, that they still know the plan and they'd be able to give us compelling
TV. And they were
doing
WrestleManias before they had these huge staffs, too. So.
But don't you think they go with the trends that are coming at them? They're changing it. They're changing stuff more often than I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that might have an impact on it, but we all agree tonight was a much better build. But we're all also agree that this year's WrestleMania doesn't have the same impact that last year's
on
had.
paper.
Absolutely. We don't have the star power in terms of outside of wrestling stars, so celebrity star power. We just don't have that glitz, glam, larger than life. This is the spectacle of all spectacles. On paper, it's I think they're gonna deliver.
I get a vibe that we're gonna get a pretty good WrestleMania.
I feel that way
too. It's weak on paper and been a weak build-up. I just have a feeling this is gonna be a good one.
Guys know they have something to go out there and prove.
Yeah.
They know that the young talent knows this is their time to jump into that spotlight and kind of steal it from the big stars who came in.
Does Cathy always talk this much? I mean, holy cow.
A lot of our listeners are upset because she seems to talk more when I'm not here.
I
but
know.
apparently when I'm
We've
here,
been feuding the past few weeks because I was taking
who's the
his
face
spot.
and who's the heel?
I'm healed by design, I guess.
Cathy had his seat last week.
As I twirl,
Last time I was here, Maria was sitting in that.
We started the show off tonight with a recap of the feuds, and essentially our VO man tells us that 7 of the biggest superstars in WWE history will be here today. So we're getting some star power. We got Brock, we got The Undertaker, we got The Rock, we got Shawn Michaels, we got Triple H. It keeps going on and on. But we start off the broadcast with John Cena, who comes to the ring to not necessarily the biggest crowd reaction. Not necessarily a lot of Cena sucks. Not necessarily a lot of Cena's awesome. It was just kind of a little come-see-come-saw reaction.
Even though more Cena sucks than Let's Go Cena.
It eventually started breaking out, but still a little lukewarm. And you would
still
think
not like Rock at the end. Not even close.
I think whenever Rock is around, all the kids kind of go towards him. I mean, that's just what it's going to be like.
Which is Cena's demo, which is everyone who likes
because
Cena,
they are very similar.
Yeah.
I mean, they're very similar characters. So.
Well, but also this year, Cena with his injury, with losing last year, he doesn't have the same build-up this year that he had last year, don't you think? And they hadn't wrestled together before. Now they have. So. Well, The Rock is all over the place with movies and TV, and he's got such a broader base to draw from. And we all love Cena. He works really hard. So, well, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a good match.
Yeah, and that's actually what makes it kind of interesting to me is that Cena is usually, over the years, Super Cena, and now he's had a lot of obstacles to overcome. And so that's what I like it, and that's why I'm kind of behind Cena in this. You know, you're sympathetic for him. You want to see him, overcome this.
He's a company guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I would normally be all for Cena because he is one of my favorite guys there.
You're all about
and
Rock
I'm not
on the
even the
red
big
carpet.
Rock fan, but I'm all about the Rock in this feud right now. I'm about the celebrity, the star carrying that championship belt.
Let's talk about this then, because you've been bringing up. I've been complaining about The Rock with the title, and
constantly complaining.
Right, constantly complaining, and you've been saying, well, it's okay because Rock with the belt on the red carpet, Rock on the belt on Jay Leno. Well, Rock was on Jay Leno last week.
Yeah, there was no
weeks
belt.
ago. No belt. Red carpets. No belt. Nickelodeon.
Doesn't
no
even
belt.
mention
or
it.
championship.
Talking about his TV stuff.
Yeah.
That's it. I was pretty upset by that. I'll eat my own words that I thought you were going to get the promotional blitz by him.
He got nothing.
I don't think he's using those platforms as a promo for WWE. He's using WWE as a platform for promo.
Well, and also, you made a really good point. WWE may not have set up those appearances.
Right, I think it was set up by the movie studio.
There you go.
They were set up by the movies, yeah.
And that's not how it works.
But that was the argument why he should have the title. So if that's not what we're getting, why does he have it? You know, that's my biggest thing.
And that's all to make the second match worth something more than last year's. Like last year's was kind of a dud. And it happened. Rock won flat out. Now it's like, why do we fight again? It's almost like you have
redemption,
to have the title
now. No, you don't, because the story's that's what the story is. The story's redemption, and that's the interesting story.
Ryan's never going to be swayed in his viewpoints.
No, I totally agree with him.
Never. Because if the title was still on Punk, it would be streak for streak, way more interesting. But I'm
at the same time, that angle doesn't need the championship in the streak as well.
Exactly,
I mean, that angle is the hottest thing going into Mania right now, and that doesn't need the championship.
And what, are you going to have Undertaker
here's my thing. It would be one of the most epic matches of all time. That would be the main event. That's something we would remember forever.
For sure.
That would have taken it to Hogan Warrior almost level.
Could be.
And so I think instead of having this amazing match and then this great co-main, which could have been Rock Cena, we've taken those down a notch.
Right.
Well, you go back to
my opinion.
What Cena said tonight, and we all talked about it. His key line was, Rock's time is up, my time is now, followed by chants of boring.
Yes. Right. Very straight.
Yeah, they came out.
Because I thought it was a great promo. I thought it was a great
Cena started strong. He stood in the middle of the ring saying he stands in a house divided, and ironically here in D.C. where you got the Cenacrats and the Rock Publicans, but all eyes are now focused on Mania and that it's his job to take on the greatest WWE champ of all time. And while Rock may be the great one will fall this weekend. Rock's time is up. My time is now.
And they did focus on the title a little bit here tonight, so I'm happy they at least mentioned it.
Not only mentioning it, it's all about his custom championship. How this is the championship belt that The Rock is all about. This is what embodies and personifies who The Rock is, and he's going to lose his belt on his first title defense.
That's a good point, because it's his design belt, isn't it?
Yeah.
And which replaced Cena's design belt, too. I think that's an important point.
And the big thing is another reason what I didn't get
I'll keep that one.
To hit on is that, you know, this is for the title. Like, if you didn't have the title there for their second match, like, he had to win the Rumble, and that gives him his right to have a rematch to The Rock. If the title wasn't in the picture and there was no Rumble win, like, why would The Rock offer Cena
you find another way to write it creatively.
You know, this is the easiest and to make it somehow bigger than the first one.
Cathy, are we going to talk about The Rock's mic work later?
Yeah.
Okay.
We will. But I also wanted to talk about no.
I want to talk about The Rock's mic work, but that can wait. It was killer.
Go ahead, Cathy.
I wanted to talk about the WWE is boring tweets that were going around that people said were trending.
That's right. Watchtower gave us a little heads up about that.
I think, though, that a lot of those tweets were because people were saying, why is this trending right now? And then they would hashtag it.
You said.
What?
TNA Creative.
Well, I mean, there was something from TNA Creative that was.
I could see them doing it, which is.
That's kind of.
That company always has a tendency to focus attention on their competition, and it's not something that helps them. It doesn't. It helps their competition.
Yeah, why do you care? I mean, it just shows your Bush League. That's all that does.
Yeah, right.
Bush League.
Cena finished off this promo by saying the championship may be intended for The Rock, but it will be defended by me, and me having that title will be a symbol showing that he's not only equal, but better than The Rock.
You were the only person listening at the end because the fans had dialed out.
They did.
They had dialed out.
That's where the boring chants were going. Yeah, it was a 15-minute promo for the opening of the show.
And you know I like John.
Yeah, obviously I'm a huge fan.
Yeah,
it is one of those flaws, though, in the writing styles. WWE's promos go on and on. That's what we said. Like, the Jack Swagger, Zeb Coulter stuff was hot when it started. But then when Zeb started cutting these 10, 12-minute political diatribes,
too much.
I'll take my politics 2 minutes in wrestling, not for 12. So... next matchup, 3MB taking on the triple team of Randy Orton, Sheamus, and the Big Show.
From Wichita State, ladies and gentlemen,
there you go.
In the Final Four.
Wichita State, Big Show representing the alma mater. 3MB, you know... they're trying, man. They're trying hard.
I think they're doing. I think they're doing. I mean, you know, they're technically still jobbers. You know, as we were talking, but they've elevated their position in the company.
Yes.
And they're interesting. It's okay that they're losing all the time. That's their position right now. But they're doing it they're making it entertaining.
It's the right kind of jobber to be because you're a jobber that actually has storyline and character development and character evolution.
Ryan just said it. They're interesting.
Yeah.
They weren't interesting before.
No, they weren't.
Now at least they're interesting.
Yeah, they've gotten together, they've worked this thing, and they were doing, they did some like kind of almost like behind the music type.
I was always expecting more out of that
early on, and we didn't get many more of those. I wanted more of those.
We're
Those
still
were really
waiting for their first musical performance. Maybe we'll hear that when Fandango wrestles.
Fandango. You know what Fandango means to me? I don't care.
I disagree with that one. I care a lot about the guy.
I'm tired of the setup already. Come on, let's go.
Well, this six-man match was really just the setup of our three super faces in the setup of Mania to hit Shield. Big Show gets the KO punch over Jinder Mahal, and then the music hits and Shield comes from the crowd.
It was fun.
How cool are they?
They're so cool.
I mean,
so cool.
What a great injection of energy and vitality into WWE.
Youth, there's just something about them. I mean, you got such three different looks, three different characters, and they just meld and they work and they're exciting and they're intriguing.
And I love that you guys know their history. You should tell everybody about their history because it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, superstars in Ring of Honor in Ambrose and Rollins.
Ambrose wasn't Ring of Honor, I don't think.
You're right. Ambrose was Combat Zone Wrestling to Dragon Gate. Rollins, Ring of Honor, WSX, Wrestling Society X on MTV.
I don't know much about Roman.
And Roman, I think, is straight developmental and just straight from the family.
They didn't just show up. They came. They brought it with something, and that's why they had such a big impact.
You said though that their gimmicks kind of seem like TNA.
Well, I think their look is like TNA. I think the long pants and
TNA
the
does
vest,
that SWAT kind of look all the time, and they do the entrances
and
to
the
the crowd.
aces and eights and all that.
Yeah, and WWE's recently been known to kind of take TNA's storylines and make them better. So like they almost seem to be doing that as like.
I think they do it as
take anybody's Thank you very much.
But I was saying about the Shield is I think all three of those guys could be main event players too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all three of them, which is a part of it.
Ambrose on the mic saying, "Congrats on that big victory. Enjoy it now because there'll be no celebrating come WrestleMania." I mean, he's just got that psychotic, interesting weirdness.
He's the Joker.
And they immediately work well together, don't they? They immediately fit. Well, it's a really cool thing. You know how it is. Energy's hard to create.
Yeah.
And they have it.
And I love it. I mean, we didn't get it here, but when they're beating people down, just that pack mentality. I've never seen anybody do it like that. It just
they play it real right, where they let one of their guys get beat down, and then the others come in, and it's not just pure domination. They let there be some changes, shifts and tides, and then they finally do conquer in the end.
Yeah, they're very good with that. It's really entertaining.
Rollins on the mic. You know, when he first debuted, I had issues with his promo style, and he's comfortable now. He's fitting in the role. Justice never lies, and we know the truth, and the truth being that it's all about the Shield.
Well, now, wait a minute. I got a little hidden message in that statement.
You did?
Yeah. I've heard something's going to happen at WrestleMania that's going to surprise all of us about the other side of things, about the heel side of things, and we know the truth. What are they talking about? I think they're setting something up. I really do.
You think there's someone else involved in going on?
There was a message. Maybe.
Could potentially be planting the seeds right there on this road to WrestleMania go home edition.
Very pensive.
Yeah, thinking about it, thought provoking.
I would be a little scared of that. I think those three guys. I mean, they're awesome together. But Orton's always been he's been asking to be a heel for quite some time.
I don't think it's Orton.
I wouldn't want that.
Dennis don't think Orton. He thinks something bigger, maybe.
Good.
Not their opponents. I think it's somebody else.
Oh,
big somebody.
This could be interesting.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. I don't know if we want to reveal it.
No, we can't.
We don't want to spoil it. It's not worth it. It's Mania time.
Too big a thing.
Did you know that WrestleMania is available in all 50 states and 34 countries?
You got to give it to Mr. McMahon. You got to
be available in all 50
Here's
states.
a guy who took out a second mortgage on his house to fund the original WrestleMania. Took that risk, and now the global empire that the company's become.
Not just that. If you've ever heard the story of how he got the company, his father didn't want to sell it to him, and he bought the WWF from his dad for $250,000.
Wow.
And him and Linda had to make $30,000 a month payments. And if they missed one payment or were late, they lost all the money they put into it and the company. So they were under incredible pressure to pay off Vince's dad on it. I mean,
love him or hate him, you got to respect him.
Wow. Absolutely. Pay $250,000 for the company. It's now $1 billion.
Worth a little bit more now.
A little bit, slightly.
What did he end up paying for WCW? Because wasn't that a crazy low number?
It was supposedly in the low millions, I think.
Like $2.5 million or something stupid
Jericho
like that.
or some people go, man, I would have bought it if I knew.
Jericho saying that.
But the people that say that, I mean, yeah, that was to buy it, but then you have to have the money to produce all that stuff. So you need several tens of millions of dollars actually to buy that. But
Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger in the streets of Washington, D.C., telling us that at WrestleMania, real change is coming, and we have a new America. Jack Swagger's America. America.
Okay.
America.
They took our jobs.
Yeah.
But it gave a good heel for Alberto to turn, though.
Yeah.
You know, it really
Yes.
worked with Alberto and several of the guys. It really helped that whole dynamic. I think it helped them all, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I still say I would have liked this to be a little bit like SummerSlam-ish. Let Swagger build up with this a
Was
little
pretty
bit more.
shocked that they threw Swagger into that role.
they
We thought it was going to be Henry potentially getting into this role. We thought when he came back that he'd be up there for the world
Swagger
title.
needed help with something.
Absolutely.
He got the right fit.
I would have liked to see Swagger a bit of a slow build to Alberto Del Rio. I thought it was a bit of a hot
They
job,
just
but
threw him
it's
in
still
there.
cool. It's
So
still
if
cool.
the Glenn Beck stuff never happened, would he have gotten suspended or no?
I'm
Oh,
surprised
because
that he
of
didn't
DUI
get
thing?
suspended.
I don't think so because you got Cameron had a DUI and she lied to the police and said that she was somewhere else and
then
you know,
tried to bribe him
and then
or
flew
something.
and then like took off to go to European
offered him
tour.
$10,000 or
Yeah.
Did he get fined?
Yeah, she tried to bribe a cop.
Yeah, he
That's
got
right.
fined.
But a lot of the fans are
No,
asking
he didn't
why.
get fined from the company. No.
Yeah,
Oh,
a lot of the fans are asking why he didn't get anything.
Well, because they say
Yeah.
because the wellness policy steals more drugs than alcohol. I mean, if anything, I think they're
I mean,
fighting
regardless,
it as well.
a DUI is pretty serious.
Yeah, and he did get caught, I think, with cannabis on him as well.
I thought that
but-
was what the DUI was.
It was for
wasn't
cannabis,
alcohol.
not alcohol.
Oh, was
correct.
that cannabis, not alcohol?
Yes.
Yeah. But those guys get tested all the time for that. So unless
So
he's
if he didn't come
unless
up in
they're
the test,
popping
that's
him,
got to
yeah.
be what it is, and then no reason to punish him, I guess.
Got to prove it in the
They've
test.
invested too much in the storyline.
Yeah.
That could
I'm
be
just
it. I mean,
saying.
it
Yeah.
happens.
There's
It
too much
happens.
money.
There's no doubt.
First big match of the night, Daniel Bryan taking on Dolph Ziggler, something that we were pretty excited about because we
Yeah.
weren't expecting a match like that. We got an homage to Yoshihiro Tajiri in this match as Daniel Bryan locks on the tarantula.
I know you're jumping in this, but
Yeah.
you guys said something really interesting earlier off camera about Ricardo and what's going to happen with Ricardo. Do you want to address that at all?
Oh, yeah, sure. You were talking about how you think that he doesn't fit with Del Rio and you'd like to see him branch off a little bit.
That
He's
was
a little
interesting to me.
boring to me now as a baby face. You know, I liked heel Ricardo. I think he's funnier as a heel. Some of the comedy's gone with me.
But I don't really like that. I mean, that was interesting to me.
But you were saying that you didn't even believe him when he was heel.
I didn't like him so much when he was heel. I think he's made a really good turn.
I
And
like
people
Del
like
Rio
him.
on the face
Yeah.
turn. I think he's
I like
more
Del
fun
Rio.
to listen to. He's
Del
actually
Rio,
more
yes,
exciting to
yeah.
watch in the
Yeah.
ring as a wrestler. The babyface moveset serves him better and is more exciting to watch. I think Ricardo's good with him
I'd
still.
like to see actually. How about this? Would you like to see maybe after Mania Ricardo turn on ADR in a feud?
Ooh.
It would be interesting, and I think it would be nice to see. Obviously, my friend go get a chance to
Yeah.
actually do it. It's funny you
Because
see
he's
him,
wrestling now.
You
I
see
mean,
him on his
think it'll
Facebook
happen.
statuses and tweets
Well,
here and there. He's like, man, do I miss wrestling?
If you watch NXT, there is a masked character who has very similar tattoos to Ricardo Rodriguez, named El
El
Local.
Local.
America is the
But-
land of opportunity.
But he told Ricardo to stay away, and he came down, and it
Yes.
cost him,
Yeah.
That's true. He did.
So you might have something.
Once again, planting some
beat
seeds, a
with
little
his
dissension in the
I like
ranks.
that, Ryan. I like that.
I love hearing a voice
Awesome.
like that. There's the voice. Daniel Bryan and Dolph. Strong match, man, but you wouldn't expect anything but that between these two.
Those guys are great.
Every single time they go out there, give 110%, sell like to the utmost, put everything into their body. It's just awesome.
Daniel Bryan, cat-like, going up the buckles. Cat-like.
Oh, that
Yes.
backflip maneuver he loves to
Man.
do.
Boom, boom, boom.
You brought up that all the Shawn Michaels students
Yeah,
tend to
one
do that.
of my mentors, Daniel Bryan, does that all the time. I see him
Brian
do it
Kendrick,
in class.
you mean?
Or, I mean, what do I say?
You said Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan.
Your mentor, Daniel Bryan.
My mentor, Brian Kendrick. One of my mentors, Brian Kendrick. But yeah, Brian does that all the time. Paul London, we saw him doing that this last weekend. So
Daniel Bryan, go ahead.
What's going on with Dolph? I love Dolph Ziggler.
I think
he
they were
puts
confused with
over
him.
everybody. He was coming, and then it stopped.
And then he can't get a win to save his life anymore. He can't get a push to save his life anymore.
And I tell you, I honestly think what we're going to see, as I've been saying for a few weeks now, we're going to see him treading water for a minute until we get closer to Money in the Bank.
And that's what it's about.
Because we've never seen somebody wait.
Sense.
We've never seen someone wait a year to cash that in
They always
before.
cash it in quick.
We've never seen someone come up to the point, because it expires in a year. If you don't cash that in, you don't get, it's gone. So I'd love to see it to get to the point where he's desperate to cash it in. He's trying to cash it in because the expiration, clock strikes midnight and that's gone. So
you guys know better than me. I'm sorry, Josh, but you guys know better than me about the history and the tradition.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they're just making him earn it a little more? I mean, but
I think WWE is a company that likes to test its people.
Yeah. Well, it's a test.
I think they want to see how bad you want it. What are you willing to overcome? What kind of sacrifices are you willing to make and take? And just, can you deal with all the crap we give and you persevere and come out standing strong on top?
Yes, for him.
See,
Absolutely.
This is where I get lost with this whole thing. This attitude that you guys talk about. I was asking Chris Masters last week about this. I'm like, he's like, oh, my second run, like I wish I had, they wanted to see if I could do more and I should have done more. I'm like, what else could you do? And I look at Ziggler and I go, no, really, what else can this man do? This man busts his ass every week. And it's like...
It's not just that, though.
Yeah. It's in every business. You probably see it at work every day.
The one time they let him cut a promo on Cena in main event, it was amazing. It was the best promo I ever seen.
That just proves that the people that work hard are the ones that are going to succeed.
It's no different in this business than any other business.
He's coming. He's coming for Swagger. He's coming for Del Rio.
Even more so, I have been blessed to have insight in the last couple of years I've never had. And I get chills thinking about it because it's history on top of history on top of history, and there is tradition that we don't know about that they adhere to religiously. And Dolph is exactly what you said. He works hard every time, puts people over every time, works. I think he's the future, but they're not going to let him have the future until they have decided. They have decided he's earned it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. True. You got so many guys at the top right now too. Where are you going to put him? You got Del Rio. Now you got Swagger.
But he's the next generation.
Yeah. And probably especially with some of the young guys, because it comes easier nowadays. You don't have to go on the road like you did back in the 60s and 70s, me working 5-6 nights. I mean, I've heard stories of Bob Orton talking about how he would get home and wouldn't even see his kids because he'd have to leave 3 hours later to go. He'd be gone for a month, get home for 5 hours, and then be on the road, and the kids were in school, so he wouldn't even see his kids.
They're still working 5 nights a week. They're busting the 5 nights.
I mean, and even when you're not working, you're in the gym, you're doing...
It's crazy.
They talk about their one day at home, which is paying bills and doing laundry.
Yep. They get up at 6 a.m. on a Raw to go do press. They're always working. And a guy like Cena, who at the top, you would think, oh, he gets to get more time off.
He's working more than they are.
He doesn't get days off.
The lifestyle is not easy.
No.
They can't, as the pros, and you know this as well as anybody, and you know this as well, is as pros at the level they are, they can't give less. They're not built that way.
Yeah.
Like the one little thing we both got excited about, the mutual bridge up.
Yeah.
I mean, after 15 minutes in the match, you said, taking your line, they're giving it the go. They want to move.
Absolutely. Put their hearts into it every single time to make sure that the people at home are entertained.
Yeah.
And you got to commend them for that. This match was pretty good. I know that the last few weeks you've been enjoying the interference of AJ and Langston. You feel it's been effective.
I don't say because I still don't like Big E with them, but I think it's been better. He hasn't just been standing there. They've been using that team. So it's been much better.
I saw this start about 9 months to a year ago in my hometown when Big E came out with Dolph. They were testing it. They were seeing what could go with this, and it's amazing to see I just thought of that. Just to see the beginnings of something that's turned into something really good for those guys.
Yeah.
And that's funny because they were all they tested Big E, but at one point they tested Rob Terry from TNA with Dolph years ago. They also just recently, a few months ago, tested Mason Ryan. So it seems like they were always trying to put a big
tested an engagement.
Got a novel idea.
What's that?
How about just pushing Dolph on his own?
Oh, yeah.
But Dolph was teamed up with Swagger back then.
Yeah.
So they were trying to figure out, even back then, they were trying to figure out how to bust him out.
But, you know, it's probably the same thing if you watch that CM Punk DVD when he talks about when he was going to wrestle The Undertaker way back when they gave him Luke Gallows, is because they felt he needed a big guy to be credible against The Undertaker.
In the Vince world of wrestling, he still is a smaller individual.
I think that they were trying to push Ziggler on his own when they had him paired up against Cena. And then once Rock came back, they were confused as to what to do.
He was with Vicky then, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was with Vicky the whole time,
And during that,
he's always had a mouthpiece. Yeah.
Ziggler got a surprise win. He ended up with the roll-up after all this outside interference and distractions.
Did he pull the tights or something there?
He pulled the tights. He held on him, got the 3 count, and after that, it was all about the attack of Big E.
And I guess did you talk about AJ coming down and doing her?
Well, so I was going to say, AJ was skipping around Kane, taunting him as his attention was distracted. Big E came with the clothesline. At that point, Daniel Bryan hit a baseball slide, knocking over Big E. And when his attention was there, Big E ends up getting rid of the
Bring it, Smiley! Bring it, man! Bring it!
I'm loving it.
One neat little nugget of information I found out: Kane's attire is based off of the stitching of an autopsy.
Right.
Yeah, I did not know that.
It's based off an autopsy
of a human body. So like the stitching
that's the incisions that they make.
That's really cool. I didn't know that.
I did not know that.
How about Big E taking the hand off?
So Kane gets the goozle. He's got the hand around the throat, and Big E able to use strength because, as they say, one of the strongest men in WWE muscles the hand away, scoops Kane up onto his shoulder like nothing.
I know.
And he's actually as big and strong as he's kind of a little guy though, like height-wise at least.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he might be, but Kane's not.
No, Kane's huge. Kane's a monster.
When's Big E gonna get to go against Ryback and Mark Henry?
When his singlet gets smaller.
Yeah. Well, there was some good. There was definitely some good stuff here. Like we got to see Big E credible now, like pulling that.
You do that to Kane. You pick him up like he's nothing. You hit him with that finisher. And then Dolph and Big E grabbed the tag team championships, held them in their hands above their fallen prey, standing there. This match has meaning coming up in Mania.
Holy crap, those titles are important. These guys want them. It's a novel idea.
This should have happened weeks ago.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
AJ's still skipping. She's still involved.
Good for her.
Looks crazy as ever.
This was well done. This was a good build-up, I thought.
If you enjoy what you're listening to and enjoy these podcasts and after show recaps we do, head on over to iTunes where you can subscribe to our podcast as well as any of the other shows that AfterBuzz TV offers. Go ahead, subscribe, rate, comment, do it all. It only takes a minute, and make sure you also tell your friends. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Ooh, that's Paulie D. Yeah, buddy. Come on, go to the shore. Come on.
As we go into hour 2 of Raw, let's go. I want to throw up a couple of things on the screen. So, Martin, if we can get ready. Let's pull up some graphic clips at first. I know I said I was going to do these at the end, but I think we got a flow right now.
Wait, you want the clips or the
picks? Let's go with the picks right now. Because I was searching around the internet for some various Mr. Belding memes. I was curious if there would be any available. So let's see as we take the time. I wish I had a smoother transition going, a little more talk prepared as Martin slowly pulls up the graphics.
That's all right. We can talk about my brief wrestling career.
We got a clip ready of that as well.
Funny.
So I did my this is just the simple start because that's the catchphrase.
You want to know how that happened?
How did it happen?
Our director used to go, hey, kids, come on. and they wrote, hey, what is going on here? So in rehearsal to have fun with our director, I went, hey. Well, I just changed it. The rest is history.
And then it's stuck.
Nice.
And then in every single episode, on to the next, Martin. What we got? All right, the principal in Saved by the Bell is named Mr. Belding. Belding! Like the end of the class period. All right. That
I thought it should have been called Saved by the Belding, personally. But
would have been good. This one's just, look at how smooth you are. Chilling on Zach's bed. What are you doing in Zach's room?
I was in trouble with Mrs. B.
You go to prison for that these days.
It's a different era. In rehearsal, they had beanbag chairs, and Mario is doing his Jimmy Superfly snooker move off the bed onto the beanbag chairs. High up in the air. It was great.
Awesome.
I actually have a little funny story on that. One of my trainers was in a hotel room with Snuka, and another wrestler tried to get Snuka to do the Snuka on him, and the Snuka goes, Superfly don't fly for free, brother.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
Superfly don't fly for free.
Superfly wouldn't be flying through the hotel room.
So we know Boy Meets World is relaunching a new spin-off show right now. Oh, wait, okay, this isn't the one. No, sorry, this is The Class. But take a look who's there on the left side of the screen.
Oh,
I don't know if Brodus Clay went to Bayside.
That's not Brodus. You know who that is? That's Ed Alonzo, who played Max.
No, Brodus is on the left.
Where?
Right there.
I didn't see it. Is that actually in the thing? Oh, my goodness.
Ed Alonzo, a phenomenal magician.
Oh, my
you can see him all around.
Is that truly in the picture?
In this picture, it was.
That
A little Photoshop action.
Wow, that would be so cool. I would have
And then the
loved to
Boy
see
Meets
that.
World revival, you got Corey Matthews saying, why couldn't Mr. Belding be my prince?
He was a big fan of Saved by the Bell. It was real Ben. Yeah.
I could see that.
And his brother, unbelievable.
Made your mark on this world. Let's go into hour number 2 of Monday Night Raw. And we started off with the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, who hasn't been on WWE TV and since Brock broke his arm.
Yeah.
Suck the energy right out of the room. Sorry.
I mean, Shawn Michaels used
Josh?
could be considered one of the greatest of all time. These last few years, man, it is rough watching Shawn. I find him boring on the mic, and then when you watch him in the ring, his just physical body has deteriorated so much from his prime.
I mean, that's kind of rude of me because he deserves more from me. But
No,
but he whatever they gave him to do took too long and didn't get there. And then even with Hunter didn't come through until we had the entrance.
Yeah, this was another top of the hour long promo. It probably went 15 minutes, the whole segment again.
Yeah.
Essentially, Shawn saying that, Undertaker always showed respect for me. When my career was on the line, Undertaker doesn't come out here and brag that he ended Shawn's career because, he respects him.
Undertaker. He said
made
the guy
some good
over
points.
there.
He did say...
Did he say Undertaker?
No, you're right. He didn't say
He
Undertaker.
never said it, did he?
No, he just said the guy who...
That was
Said
fascinating.
the guy, yeah.
And then he said Brock respects nobody.
He does this for money.
And then Triple H comes out, and they're talking, and they're discussing this friendship's going on, and Triple H is like, you're not going to talk me out of this fight, Shawn. And we're sitting there going like, didn't he sign the contract? There's no getting out of this fight.
Yeah.
But then,
if he wants out of it, it's a forfeit and you lose.
But then instead, Shawn gets on the mic. He says, no, I'm not going to talk you out of this. You better kick Brock's ass, and I'll be in your corner. And if you're not down with that, I got 2 words for you. You were a little late today.
Yeah, I was about
Just
to
like
say
you were
suck
saying,
it. I'm like, yeah, suck it.
No, just like you were saying, WWE's been late with kicking the music. You were
And
late
that
with
was
my
perfect.
music cue right there.
Perfect timing on the bad timing.
Yeah, they have an issue. But yeah, you're talking about HBK. Like they had him do the Cena thing. Like, hey, come up here and hype this pay-per-view for us. It's like don't tell us like, hey, HBK is going to be here and he's got words for Triple H. And then hello everyone, I'm HBK. It's like, no man.
What do you expect though? I mean,
have Triple H out there and then like.
And he
have
said
HBK's
Heartbreak
music
twice,
hit.
by the way.
Yeah.
He used Heartbreak twice.
Yeah. I thought he made some good points, though. I thought it was interesting, the whole thing about, Undertaker or whoever, the guy you wrestled showed respect and Brock doesn't. I thought there was some interesting points to it.
Cat.
It wasn't great, but it was there.
Not 6 days before Mania. Like, we need something to go home with.
Absolutely. This wasn't
Go home
the right
with the
time.
Jimmy John sandwich,
This wasn't the
man.
right time to do that.
So the mic segments, the crowd segments, we're not okay with so far.
Yeah.
No, actually, in ring was pretty good, and today the mic definitely slowed the pace of what was a pretty good show.
Until Heyman showed up.
So Heyman shows up right here and essentially says, my client has 2 words for you. We don't know what those 2 words were because he kind of went on after that. I was waiting to find out what those 2 were going to be. But he says, Triple H, you're going to end up not only disappointing your father-in-law, Vince, you're going to disappoint the board of directors.
He's so good.
You're going to disappoint your wife, and you're probably used to that.
That was great.
You popped huge for that.
Was great. Because I'm a Heyman fan. Have been back in the day.
You're a Paul Heyman guy?
Yes.
Everyone's a Paul
good.
guy.
No, because I respect how good he is. He came in out of the blue. I don't think
I got a
anybody knew
connection.
him.
Paulie Heyman had the old cell phone block phone. Zach
Did he
Morris
really?
cell phone block phone.
Zach
There's
phone.
the connection.
Wow.
6 degrees of Mr. Belding.
I got a question for Dennis that we talked about a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
So it's pretty much just, greatest manager of all time, Bobby Heenan, right? And then there's
Bobby the Brain.
Bobby the Brain, greatest. There's really not an argument there. And then there's a
Jimmy?
big argument on number 2. Do you think Heyman has now moved himself into that number 2 slot because he was a manager back in those days in the 80s through the 90s? He ran ECW.
He's got to hang around a little bit longer. He's got to maintain a little bit longer.
Is he moving up there? I think he might be. He might be getting to that point.
He's getting there and in the mix, but he
won't be Bobby, but he might be.
You got Jimmy though. You still got Jimmy.
Yeah.
But Jimmy didn't do all the stuff Heyman does.
Mainstream world knows Jimmy Mouth of the South Heart. They don't know Paul Heyman.
It doesn't look like he's going anywhere, though.
Well,
I mean, Miss Elizabeth, she was
top ballet of all time.
Yeah, but he's so good. But they're moving him from Punk to they're moving him back and forth.
It's almost like the Heenan family, the Heyman family.
Just you saying Elizabeth. Have you seen the new Savage graphic where it's just a picture of Savage and it says, and it was actually Linda. Because everyone always thinks it was Savage was hooking up with Stephanie was the big thing with the Vince rivalry. And it's like it was actually Linda.
Boy, I was marking out for Miss Elizabeth.
Everybody was.
Everybody.
Sad.
But now
Kathy dressed up as Miss Elizabeth a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, people were knocking my outfit though. They said it wasn't very good.
Is that when Jericho was here?
If you put Elizabeth in today's world, is she as popular?
No.
Everything's of the moment. Everything's got its timing.
It's the right time.
Yeah. Like you right here, right now.
Yeah. Brock picked the fight, but you answered the call of duty, Triple H, when you should have walked away. And come WrestleMania, you won't be able to walk away. You will be an emasculated retiree. And the cerebral assassin has committed professional suicide.
I love this guy.
Thank you, Dennis. I love you.
That's right on the nose, man. That's great.
I mean, what do you think? This is Heyman makes things meaningful.
He does.
He's so here's smart. A feud that we weren't so sure of when we were talking months ago on what this WrestleMania would become. We heard rumors, Triple H and Brock, and we were like, is this what we want to see? Heyman just has this magical touch.
Because he's amazing. Ding. He should probably be helping writing the shows,
He's
honestly.
like an emerald. It's like a little
He should be on creative. He really should.
Can you ever imagine Heyman disappointing?
No.
Hello.
Only people when they want to get their paycheck.
Yeah. Maybe not the greatest businessman in the world, but an amazing creative talent.
I mean, he's there.
He has talent.
Yeah.
We've learned that the WrestleMania pre-show will be an hour long this year, and it'll include an Intercontinental Championship match between The Miz and Wade Barrett and his Barrett Barrage.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
Yeah.
All right, Hurricane Man.
He did a curly.
No ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship?
We got nothing special. IC being relegated to the pre-show, and we got some talented wrestlers who are going to be part of it.
Don't skip my boy Zach. Don't skip my boy Zach.
No.
He's in the matchup right now.
He was in with Wade.
Wade Barrett versus Zack Ryder, Mr. Woo Woo, Mr. Long Island True Hollywood Stories. So you've been a part of a bunch of these Long Island True Hollywood Stories.
Just so people know, Miz called me and said, I got a buddy who's doing this thing. Would you do it? His name is Zack Ryder. I went, Zach? Mr. Sure, I'll do it. Why not? Because Miz asked, he's not going to ask me to. And I did a couple of them, and that's back when people were upset with Johnny Ace, and then I did several more. I am so impressed.
So you were early on with the ones.
I'm so impressed with Zack Ryder. Wasn't getting shows. He was doing dark matches, and he created all that. But it also kind of cost him, too. Because even though he's got 1 million followers.
Why don't you think he's gotten that push then?
He's got because I don't think Hunter likes him. I don't think the guys up top actually like him. He forced his way in. Okay, you're in. Okay, let's see you keep it up. And he's the one who created it. So but he still works.
He got the rub from Cena last year that you thought that was going to help him out.
Punk helped him out as well with the tweeting.
And who was the girl? I'm sorry, with the kids.
And Eve.
Eve. Yeah, they did the whole storyline with Eve, the Hosky storyline. Yeah.
Kids love him too.
They do. I train with a kid.
Merch sells well. You always see kids wearing the headband and wigs in the crowd.
Even when he's not there.
Yeah.
And he was trending last week on blowing up people's timelines.
Yeah, and let's the WWE is now all about the social interaction. He's the one that started all that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They did that because of him.
And they cut all those shows.
This success this guy's getting.
Who brought that up in the other room? Who brought that? But seriously,
stealing your lines.
I gave him credit for a line I stole. I always gave him credit. Steal it, but give him credit. No, but honest to God, you're right, because the social media is now what they're all about, and that's why I think the storylines changed much quicker because they're paying attention.
But it's so dumb because they cut Zach's Zach's and Dolph's shows that they had on their YouTube.
Yeah.
I think there's still something going on with that
Dolph
YouTube
was-
business
I
right
think
now.
they're still developing stuff, but
Zach was happy to be
why
done with
stop
Zach.
it when you have a good
Because-
thing?
Yeah.
Because YouTube's going to that paid channel thing for certain content partners now. So
And I'm sure with him,
go check out
I
my
mean,
newly designed YouTube page, youtube.com/Rixelplix.
and I'm sure Zach's like the 1.5 days off a week. He was probably doing that. It was all that.
For sure.
So
Yeah, he doesn't miss the work of
no.
it, but, you know.
And once they took it over, I think he considered it dead because they were starting to veto his stuff, and it was no longer
Well,
his
as
show.
he said, he killed. I mean, he's a buddy of mine. You guys know that.
Right.
But he killed it off. He said, if it's going my way. He did it on the 100th episode. And he put a lot of shots in his episodes towards the end that they let go. But, you know, what?
I was going to say, what's kind of crazy is when WWE took over, he probably lost a lot of money out of that because he does over 1 million hits per episode on that, which is good for...
And it switched off his stuff.
Go ahead. This what now? Switched off what?
It switched off from his channel to the WWE. They took it over.
Because WWE owns those guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's got a character name in it. They own it. Done.
Because that 1 million hits is worth about $10,000 for that one video kind of vibe when you go for the YouTube ad rates.
But he doesn't have rights to his own name.
Yeah,
No.
that's true.
And why would they snub him at the 20th anniversary
none of
with
them do.
Twitter
That was
followers?
huge. That was so bad.
Yeah.
Why would they
Thank
do
you
that?
for bringing
Like,
that up.
Miz has like half of what he has, and they put Miz's name up there.
No, I
was
think
like,
Miz got to 1 million now.
Well, yeah.
I mean, but
finally,
yeah.
But Zach was in that position.
He was third up behind
snubbed him.
Cena and
The Rock.
I know. I mean, but they
It's like, good Lord.
because they don't internally want to push him.
Right.
That ain't right.
You're right.
That ain't right. That sticks in my craw.
Start a movement.
That's right. Ryder.
Do a twitition.
That's right.
Social justice. There you go. Social justice for Ryder. Let's social justice for Ryder.
Hashtag social
How about
justice
that?
for Ryder.
Tweet that right
I'm
now.
putting that out.
Hashtag social justice for Ryder.
Zach, here it comes, buddy.
Well, he did hit the broski boot in this match, but it wasn't enough because
And a bad angle with the camera.
Terrible angle.
Camera
What's going
didn't
on with
catch
the
it.
cameras tonight.
Wade Barrett was able to set up that bullhammer elbow, connects for the 1-2-3, looks at the Miz
Which
eye
was
to
awesome.
eye. Essentially, Miz says to him, I will see your bullhammer, and I will raise you one skull-crushing finale.
And he's mentioned something about the figure and with the figure 4 leg lock or something like that. He said as well. And I also like when he's pulling his elbow pad
Then
down.
he pulls it up instead of down,
or
actually.
up,
Have you noticed that? He
pulled it up. He's staring at the Miz the whole time, like, look what I'm going to do. Hits him, eye contact during the pin. It was
Wade's
great.
still on top of my list of superstars I love right now.
He's been looking weak the past few.
He has been looking weak.
Bo
Raws,
Dallas.
but
And Cathy Kelley does not like losers.
No.
I can't even
Thank God
argue.
there's no videos of me this week.
But Kathy's guy's coming up right now because it's time to talk to Bricky,
Team
baby.
Bricky.
Yeah.
We got Brad Maddox and Vicky Guerrero.
I
Making
was
some
worried.
in-the-ring matches.
I was worried even
Oh,
before
look, now
this
she's talkative.
segment.
Now she's talkative.
I was worried even before this segment that they weren't going to use him again. And then I had a heart attack.
You
Well,
love
again,
him.
they barely
Look at, you love
used him. Like, it was almost like they told him, like, don't speak up too much.
You
Like,
would
he had
make
to
time in
whisper.
your busy schedule for Brad Maddox. Santino comes out saying that he can help them right now because he saw that Mr. McMahon was here tonight, and Mr. McMahon was very angry at you. And usually when Mr. McMahon's angry, somebody gets fired, and then he walks away. And then he comes back and says, April Fools! And then he looks at Maddox and says, somebody made caca in their pants. And then they
What
say,
a pro.
They
What a pro.
Santino's awesome.
Been
He's
around forever.
amazing.
He's a
so
pro.
good. So good. Everything he does is funny and entertaining.
And they whisper into each other's ears.
And then they send him to the ring saying, you're going to be the biggest fool tonight.
See, now I don't even know the name of the guy that's with Miss Vic. I don't even know.
Brad Maddox.
I know it's Brad Maddox. I mean, I know,
That's
but I don't even
Kathy's
know.
favorite.
But that's
Kathy's
is that your
favorite.
favorite? How about the King burying him a couple weeks ago? This may be the worst segment I've ever seen in the history of WWE.
No, I think
that
that-
was the
Vince.
instruction
That
of
was
Vince.
Vince.
Yeah.
Is that Vince?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, Vince was-
Wow.
If they
that's
let it go,
cool.
I don't think it
Rumor
would have
has
been
it
as
is that
bad.
Vince hated the segment from before it even happened, like
he
from the
did.
format. And then the second it happened and it started going south, he was just on the headset saying, bury it.
Bury it.
And apparently that's just what Vince likes to do. If he doesn't like it, he'll publicly bury the segment.
He can
Don't
do
know. He can do it. Don't know why he would, but
Wasn't it Rhino he walked out on and basically said this match is crap and ended a match between him and Tajiri? Was it him
I
and
don't remember.
Tajiri years
Tajiri's-
ago?
Tajiri's
Like he
my
literally
favorite.
walked out and like ended a match and apologized. It was weird. He's done that before.
All right, there goes the tweet.
Awesome.
Social justice for Ryder.
Hashtag social justice for Ryder. Hashtag social justice for Ryder. Santino Marella inside the ring to take on Mark Henry. That's what made him a fool.
You don't want me to pull out what I got in there.
That's what I do.
What the heck is
That's
he
what I
talking
do.
about? What about Santino? You don't want me to pull out what I got in there.
Henry grabs Santino. And I love how Henry grabs him. Henry's a scary-looking dude, intimidating brother, and he's grabbing Santino, and Santino just holds his ground and pointing at that crotch, pointing at that cobra inside his trunks.
And then pulls it out.
That sounds terrible.
I know, right? Well, come on, they knew. Come on.
Well, what was great is he pulled it out. He never let go of it.
Never.
No.
It was in his hand the whole time as he's getting beat up.
Gets the body tackle, you know, whatever you want to call it. Goes down with a huge bump, knocked out.
Still holding the Cobra.
Picked up for the world's strongest slam. Henry, I love him.
Who was it that just had?
he's
Who was it
phenomenal.
that was just with him? With Mark Henry? One of you guys was just with Mark Henry.
I was just with Mark Henry.
Yeah. Man, what a
The guy can
big
eat.
guy.
The guy can eat.
And he can lift.
And he's a nice guy, too, though. Like, that's the crazy
And what
thing.
was it when the fan wouldn't let go of his arm?
So his fan wants to do like a arm wrestling pose with him for a picture.
Stop.
So Mark will do it, but I guess the fan like made a move like he was gonna go for it, and Henry grabs his hand just like, you better let go right now or I'm gonna break your effing arm. And with that
And
serious,
he can twitch it too, man. He can just twitch it.
Yeah.
he's
a
long-term
giant
career.
human
Just went through so many ups and downs with WWE. Overcame so many like
Gone for a
bad
while.
things.
Yeah.
And now we'll see. Hopefully he
I hope
continues and
so.
stays.
I liked him on the
love
mic
him.
tonight.
I love him
Yeah.
on the mic.
Yeah.
I think he's awesome.
I don't remember the last time I heard him.
He's
on
just
the
so
mic.
believable.
Yeah.
Like he is a believable pro wrestler.
Yeah.
That guy's gonna kick some ass.
Yeah.
And then
he's
you guys made a real important. I think it was you made a real important comment about taking Santino and using him to hit
Yes.
face works heel.
Outsmarting the heel.
Yeah,
So
face
Ryback
outsmarting-
came out, and essentially there's a clause in the contract that there's a no contact clause until the Mania match. So using that, outsmarting Mark Henry, Ryback was able to use Santino's body as his own weapon, as a projectile. He used it to knock. What's his name? Mark Henry on the outside,
Yeah.
and then he military pressed him and threw him on Henry
You
at the
ain't
end.
touching nobody
I didn't
tonight.
touch you,
I
stupid.
know.
Didn't touch you, stupid.
Stupid.
We got the stupid
Can
in
I
there.
go back and mention my buddy Charles Robinson, the
Yeah.
referee?
Oh, yeah.
The WWE
Little
refs.
Nate.
Yeah, those guys are amazing. And
All of
Scott
them.
Armstrong, I hear
love
from him
Scott
every once in a
Armstrong.
while.
I like Scott Armstrong.
Hashtag
yeah.
hard body ref.
Yeah, I know, right? And he is.
I think the WWE
Hashtag what? Hard body ref?
hard body ref because he's all
That's it.
muscular.
Oh, is he?
Oh yeah, no, he's for rock.
I think WWE should be utilizing Scott Armstrong in their voiceovers on packages. He has one of those Freddie Blassie kind of voices where there's an emotion to his voice. I think they can capitalize on that, and they should.
That's Road Dogg's brother, right?
Yeah, yes it is.
Bullet Bob's son.
Yeah.
How many kids did?
There's a
Bullet
lot of
Bob have?
Armstrongs.
There's a bunch of them, right?
Candyman Brad Armstrong.
Yeah. I remember Brad Armstrong.
I'm not going to remember
Yeah,
them all
I don't remember
offhand.
them all. There's a whole bunch.
The Armstrongs. Mm-hmm. Ryback saying tonight is not the. Oh no, excuse me. Mark Henry said tonight is not the night.
Yeah.
But one thing's gonna happen tonight, and he's just gonna smile.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
He's so funny.
Ear to
We
ear,
haven't
man.
seen him smile in quite some time since his sexual chocolate days.
And that's when actually Santino
Sexual
got
chocolate.
used as the weapon and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
and thrown. But he's so awesome.
Who?
That's what he
all of
does.
them, or
all Henry.
those guys are.
I want Henry to beat Ryback, but I don't think it's
I
going to
do too.
happen.
I do too.
I think Ryback's
You
getting
got to
the win at
give it
Mania.
to Ryback for enduring all the Goldberg chants.
Yeah.
And finally, feed me more
Is over.
Is over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still want Ryback, Mark Henry, and Big E to be in a big, and throw Cesaro in there in a big, like, just alpha
Powerlifting.
powerlifting.
They would all be
group.
so much bigger than Cesaro. though.
I know.
He's so much, you know.
Cesaro's
He's strong. I know he's
Cesaro's
strong.
and
I know, but-
and he's the like pound for pound strong guy. So I
he's
think he could
very
still
European.
fit in there. Yeah, with the four of them. The other guys are more the traditional power lifters. But
Just barrel.
Your boy's
or
coming
you
on
can just
screen.
have the three of them.
Your boy's
Three of them,
coming
you
on
did.
screen right now.
Who's my boy?
CM Punk
Oh, CM Punk
with
so
Matt
good.
Striker.
How hard does he work? He works so hard.
So
You
good.
can tell the
can
bags
see
under
it
his
under those
eyes.
Sleep.
Now I read I read something about bags under the eyes that not only just a lack of sleep, but a food allergy generally causes
Really?
that. Yeah.
I think it's also a little bit genetic.
Maybe it's soy because he's gone
diet.
Sodium. It's a lot of
vegetarian the
sodium,
last
too.
year and a half or
Yeah,
so.
That's his diet.
Yeah.
Yep.
A lot of sodium in vegetarian diet. too,
Striker
guys.
says, "Are you disrespecting the memory of Paul Bearer?" And Punk just looks at him and says, "Do I give a damn if I disrespect the memory of Paul Bearer? I'm getting in Undertaker's head, And anytime you think about WrestleMania, you'll be thinking about CM Punk.
Now inside, I'm told that the family signed off on this whole story.
Yeah.
The Moody family did. Yeah. They were there the day.
It just makes his memory that much bigger.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know?
There was a Twitter war that happened when the funeral was going to happen between some people we know from CWFH and the guys at TMZ. I guess people thought it was disrespectful that TMZ was mentioning where, and it's like, I think that's an honor that that Paul Bearer was able to make TMZ news. I think and has had that much impact in pop culture.
It wasn't that they used him; it was the way the video was produced. They didn't like the
it's
kind
a comedic show, so I mean, everything gets made fun of on a show.
And Heyman,
I understand both sides.
Comes out as.
He comes out as Paul Bearer. That's going to happen later in the night.
But that's later.
Oh, sorry.
But since bringing up TMZ, why don't we go to the video screen,
Here we go.
Let's bring up TMZ's dispute about who is the best principal of all time.
I'll tell you how this happened.
Oh, wait, no, this is Dennis's appearance on that. So this was for which wrestling company?
This is PWS out of
Pro Wrestling Syndicate.
Yeah. And they had me as their guest commissioner. So I'm out to watch this match, make sure nothing bad happens. And then towards the end, some bad stuff happens, and I had to get in and get involved.
Check out Starman from the original Pro Wrestling video game in the ring.
Wow.
Look, from the original Pro Wrestling video game.
Wow.
Starman.
Yeah. Look at Dennis. You
Give it to Cena.
Great crowd for this show.
Yeah. That was, they were having that in one side.
Oh, that is funny. This is Starman.
Do you like heading out to indie wrestling events?
Yeah, I mean, I did a couple. Listen, those guys work so hard, and it's like, God bless, I did a couple of them. I'm going to stick to staying in the acting world.
You know, they do some wrestling.
Yeah, we got a match in 2 weeks, the week after WrestleMania in Simi Valley.
Bring me out, man.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll be defending my MPW Maximum Championship. He'll be trying to cut his teeth becoming a real professional wrestler.
I'm still undefeated in MPW, and I get crap all the time.
Hey, you know what? I'm undefeated, too.
I think I'm undefeated in MPW,
What were you going to talk about just before that? You thought it was going to be something else?
Yeah, actually, I have a question.
Can we go to that other clip? Here it comes. Okay. So TMZ also did a whole thing about...
I'll tell you about this.
Legend of the ring.
Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas.
The behemoth behind the bell. TMZ presents Super Icon Mega Mash Takedown.
We got a meeting.
He's a huge wrestling fan.
Loves it.
Ryan Katz.
From 2 different decades at LAX.
At Ryan Satin.
Oh, wow.
We accidentally ran into
Dennis
each other.
Haskins from Saved by the Bell and Hulk Hogan from Man Panties finally together.
Dennis and Hulk, man.
That's my hero.
You guys could have, back in the day, you could have wrestled together.
Yes, an iconic meeting between 2 icons, iconing it up at
Icon? Belding? You don't think Mr. Belding's an icon?
You say if you put out the top 5 principals on TV, he would be at the top.
What?
You gotta be kidding.
You gotta be kidding.
That's like Vicky Guerrero.
Super icon pop culture principal.
Harvey's the Vicky Guerrero.
The principal of Mr. Belding.
No, Rooney. What's his name? Ed Rooney.
Oh yeah, Rooney. We were thinking on the list though.
Oh yeah. Since you know.
So we had Rooney, Skinner, and you.
Principal Skinner from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Fantastic. But those kids never seem to graduate, so how good could he be?
Breakfast Club.
Don't mess with the bull, young man. You'll get the horns.
What was the movie?
We'll save some time. 20 minutes for Harv to come up with election with
Reese Witherspoon. Reese Witherspoon.
Don't wet yourself, Harv.
But wasn't there a principal in election?
If you could ask if there was a principal in the movie, then he's not more iconic than Mr. Belding.
Ryan was right.
Ryan was right.
The consensus is true.
You've joined the club.
So I'm at LAX, and I just did a movie with Joan Severance, who worked with Terry, Hulk Hogan.
Oh, and No Holds Barred.
So I got to say,
she was in See No Evil, Hear No Evil.
So I got to say, hey, Terry. I thought it was Terry because we've been talking about him. I said, Terry, Joan Severance says hi. Then they switched to me. They actually did a vote. They made people vote, and I won the vote. By like 3 to 1 or something.
I voted earlier today.
Thank you. So I am officially an icon on TMZ, and AOL named me the best principal ever on television.
All right.
Thank you very much. That and a quarter, and I can't get a cup of coffee.
I actually have a question. A few months back, when they were looking for the new general manager, there was some rumors out there that they were talking to you about possibly coming in to sign with the WWE to be the general manager on Raw.
Right,
is that true?
No. Here's what.
I mean, it was a dirt sheet.
No,
thing,
here's what happened. With the whole Zack Ryder, Z2 Long Island story, people hated John Laurinaitis. They didn't just hate him; they didn't like him. They didn't like what he was doing because he was screwing up lines. Remember, he couldn't say a line straight.
He rescinded my contract.
So they started so fans started a petition to have me become the new GM of Raw. And as it timed out, they were coming down to Anaheim to do Raw. So Miz got me down there, and Zack was there, and they had me sit there. But as I came down, I found out that somebody sabotaged me. I'm not going to say who, because you guys know this person, but I'm not going to say who. So they nipped it in the bud because you know what? For how many years have they been doing this? And Mr. McMahon and his crew, like you said, if he doesn't like a storyline, that was not in their plans. They honored me. He shook my hand. Welcome to Raw, Mr. McMahon. Welcome to John Cena. I talked to Laurinaitis. They were all nice to me, but I wasn't in their plans. And it was a wonderful movement. The top 10 twiticians in the world for a month.
Wow.
Unbelievable, right? So I supported it, had fun with it, and I'm honored by it, but no. And who wants to go out there 5 days a week the way these guys work so hard?
Yeah. That's a lot of work.
You know, that's a lot of work. So that's what happened, but it had legs. I mean, I actually, Bill Regal put out a tweet by accident saying, I don't think this is going away. and I ran in and met him, and I said, man, I love you, man. I have a lot of respect for you. He goes, you know, that other stuff was just kind of. So that's a true story.
Awesome.
Wow. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, good stuff.
We're getting some knowledge here.
Got a little scoop there.
There you go.
Back to the action in the ring.
Back
Zeb Coulter versus Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah. 5-star match right here.
I mean, this was what it was all about. This was just a setup for the Mania match. Essentially, Swagger started stalking Ricardo on the outside. At that point, what's his name? Who was it? Zeb was able to grab the crutch from out his hands. In the end, it's just a beating with the crutches. Del Rio gets his gets his butt kicked. Huge welts.
Oh yeah.
Beat him like a pinata.
I thought he was going to get impaled.
Wait! Say that again.
It's like beat him like a pinata.
Man, I thought he was going to get impaled by that broken crutch. I mean, it was like a pitchfork at one point.
And what is it when you find stuff that's not supposed to happen? The camera guy hands the crutch
back to him because it fell out of the ring. Hands it back to him.
Terrible.
Huge welts, and that was it. Just a vicious attack, setting up this Mania match. It set up pretty well.
Would have been a great time for Ziggler to cash in, probably. After getting the crap beat out of him.
Ziggler's not cashing in for a few months. I'm telling you.
You're right. You're absolutely
right. They're treading water with him until.
Is this match going to be the opener at Mania? Are we going to see Del Rio and Swagger in the opener? They seem to be doing that.
The last 2 years in a row have been the World Championship has started
and the last few pay-per-views as well.
I wish they would tease the Money in the Bank more though. Like they did, when was it? Like a month and a half back?
But they were doing it all summer. They've been teasing it for 10 months. You can't just tease it every week. So
but, they could tease it once a month. They've done it they did it, what, 6 weeks ago?
They're on to other things.
But it's not time right. That's not the story right now. Yeah. There's other focuses.
They still bring it out.
Come back.
They still bring it out.
It'll come back.
Finally, it's time for Hour 3 to start the broadcast. And that's with The Rock, the most electrifying man in sports entertainment.
In all of entertainment.
Makes his way to the ring. Kisses a girl who had a sign saying, "Kiss me, Rock."
Wasn't that nice?
She gave him a whatchamacallit. Huge pop, though. Crowd was going ape-s for The Rock. They were going crazy. This was the pop of the night.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
And we all remarked how much difference his reception was.
It's huge.
To Cena's.
Can't even compare the two.
No.
You know what? He is so good. He had him right.
He was good. He was amazing.
And Cena's good
tonight.
too. Don't get me wrong. But Cena didn't have as much to play with tonight. Rock was like playing it like a fiddle.
Yeah, that's the thing. Cena has so much more to work with. Like Rock just be like, "Look, I beat you, and I'm gonna beat you again." That's all he's got.
Rock wasn't that great on SmackDown this last week. I didn't think.
But he didn't pull it off.
He was good tonight.
He was amazing tonight. Amazing tonight.
Work was cut out for him.
How I kick? Are you? You're about to move on because I want.
No, go for it. No, keep going.
The last moment for Rock.
I got a lot here.
As an actor, I gotta say, my favorite moment of many mic work sessions was at the end when The Rock's, and I called it, if you smell, and he stops, and he holds it, and he holds it, and he gives the people's eyebrow.
Which we haven't seen in a long time.
To the camera, and then he finishes it. That's timing, boy.
The crowd was on the edge of their seats. We were on the edge of our seats. Like,
oh, my
You know why you were on the edge of your seat?
Why?
Because of the connection. He talked about that connection, the connection he has with the people and the people's champ, and he has that way. Sunday is about the will of the people. It's not about Cena's redemption. No, no, no. It's about his size 15 boot curb stomping Cena's monkey ass all over Mania. And if the people will it, it can happen. And here in D.C., if the people will it, it can happen, because we might just go from President Barack to President The Rock. As finally The Rock comes back to Washington, D.C.
He, you know, from his first time back last year before the Cena match,
the Anaheim
and the whole with the whole mic work that was so bad with the notes on his hands, everything else. Holy cow! Is this like the mountaintop?
So the funny thing is, I always read a story when that happened that Kevin Kelley put a post up after that whole crib notes on the ham went last year, saying that Rock from back in the day always needed cue cards when he did his promos, and the reason The Rock always wore sunglasses was because he was reading cue cards or a prompter, and that was The Rock's little secret.
Reading cue cards,
or a teleprompter.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so there was the little secret insider thing that Kevin Kelley posted, that The Rock always needed. He was able to perform, but he just had something that he couldn't just memorize the lines for whatever reason.
Hey, that's changed. Boy, tonight he killed it.
Yeah, he did.
After all those movies, he got a lot of practice.
The crowd was loving, because he essentially said that, John Cena, you're not only going to be facing The Rock, but you'll be facing the millions and millions. And the crowd just was eating it up. So he did it a second time. The millions and
a third time.
Yeah, he just kept going and egging it on, building it up.
How would you feel if you were Cena after seeing that tonight? I mean,
like a second-rate
Cena's a company guy.
Like a smaller man.
Right? The Rock looked at the camera and he was like, "You hearing this? Like, this ain't about passing the torch."
I bet it
motivates him.
I bet it motivates him.
So
I don't think it phases him. It motivates him.
Who's gonna win?
Rock.
Cena. I'm Team Cena.
Look at this. Really?
Rock.
Cena.
Really? But what if Rock wins? What does that do to Cena? It devalues him.
Heel turn? Heel turn? Come on.
I think that could be.
A lot of people want a heel turn.
Wait. Well, we thought something was going to happen early.
I think that could be leading to what was going on there.
I'm just saying, maybe.
Yeah.
Put together the pieces.
I think so.
Do we possibly hear the Shield music coming out?
We can't talk. We can't talk with this. This is so good. We can't talk about it.
Okay.
When people come back and then they play this episode again, they'll know what we were talking about.
Okay.
John Cena cannot deny the will of the people, and you cannot beat The Rock if you smell LLLLLL.
Eyebrow.
I can't do it.
Yes, you can.
I got squinty eyes.
Can Kathy do it?
Can you do it?
Kathy's got it.
Do it for me.
I can't do them both.
You had it a second ago.
There it is. That's it.
But he had such joy in doing that. You know, timing is a wonderful thing, guys. Timing.
Yeah.
He's got timing. Well, and so does Cena. But like we talked about, the fans didn't give Cena as much.
The Rock makes me think of like when I watched Michael Jackson's "This Is It." You know, the timing that Michael Jackson, he would just like sit there.
But that was
the crowd.
like Michael Jackson's one of his first appearances. What was it? I think it was one of his international performances where he just came on stage
and he just sits there for like 5 minutes.
I think it was like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he'll rock the one arm movement.
Boom.
And that's it.
And then hold that for 5 minutes. Yeah.
He knows how to work it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Chris Jericho takes on Antonio Cesaro, our United States champion. Cesaro doesn't even get an entrance in this match.
No, I know you're upset about that.
I mean, he's one of our champions. He's one of the top workers on the
and we're all huge
roster
fans
right
of
now.
Cesaro over here.
Big fan.
Jericho's. You guys are
So
talking
good.
about
Jericho's a superstar.
Talk about his history. You said some stuff when you really
done it
look
all.
at what he's done.
Jericho, a world champion, intercontinental champion, tag team champion.
He's held every title.
He's held all the titles. He's hosted TV
How
shows.
many
He's been on.
times?
He's got his band.
9-time intercontinental champion.
He was on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, tours with the Rock Band, top-selling author. He has done every
Bunch of game
When you think
shows.
of the biggest wrestlers in wrestling, you think of the Rock and the Stone Colds and even Cena's and Hogan's. You don't normally think of Jericho in the
He's
list,
number 2.
but he belongs in that
Yes, he
list.
does.
He's number
and he
2.
belongs
Yes,
high
he
up
does.
on that
He's number
list.
2.
He's better than we think.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's better than. You know, don't you agree?
Yeah, and you know why he's better than a lot of these other guys? Because he is in control of his career.
Yeah.
Even in these other situations with these guys, the guys still need the wrestling and they still need what's given to them. Whereas Jericho has maintained this control that every time he has ever been able to take breaks and hiatuses, he comes back bigger and stronger each time. He's done everything he has wanted to do in his life.
You know, one thing though, he mentioned it when we had him, and it was so true. And he said, you know, not to take anything away from Rock and Brock, but he said, when I come back, I come back. I do house
That's
shows.
what I was gonna
I go
say,
to every single Raw. All this. He's a full timer.
It's because
the other guys
there are
are
very few
part-time.
people who actually do that, and so when they have someone who's willing to give it their all, especially at the house shows, they're going to take them with open arms.
And the thing with Jericho is, I think you can see the difference. I mean, I love The Rock. I love what he's been doing, but he's in every few weeks. Jericho's there every day, and he's on top of it. His promos are crisp, everything, because he's doing it every
even
day.
when he's off, he's like going to Australia and whatever else.
What's the move he did to over the rope and up and top? And I mean, the guy's he's not. He's a little bit older than Dolph, and he's still bringing it.
Yeah, Jericho in his 40s, actually, right?
Yeah, something.
And can go.
Looking like he's getting
Best shape
thrown
of
out of
his
the
life.
ring. Ends up on the apron. Climbs up. Yeah.
Yeah, so he got tossed over, climbed down the ropes, then went up to the top, and he's just he's
he
amazing.
had a bunch of stuff from the top.
This is all about setting up Fandango.
The entrance, which is so funny to me.
Dennis
It's
does
like
not like Fandango.
Which is so funny to me. It's like, the match is going on, and so we don't get a camera shot of the entrance as they're putting up the trestle or whatever.
You know what's interesting about this match? Probably the first time I've seen since his debut Cesaro be in a match where he just didn't click so well.
Yeah.
There was a little miscommunication, I think, two different times in this match.
But they covered really well.
That's because they're pros.
They're so good, yeah.
Yeah, Cesaro was able to clean up a little botch with a gut wrench suplex, take him over.
Which looked cool, yeah.
Jericho had a lot of fun. Cesaro, small package for a 2 count, wasn't good enough. Walls of Jericho set in for the win.
I don't like the finish.
Cesaro tapped quick. We thought that there should have been disqualification at that point. No need for Cesaro to tap.
No need for Cesaro to tap. I mean, maybe
this tapped quick because Fandango was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Fandango should have come in, hit him. You got a DQ. Cesaro, the champion, goes over. It doesn't hurt Jericho, but maybe this is
Get him on the phone.
Yeah.
Get somebody on the phone.
Maybe it's a humbling of him like they are doing with Ziggler, or maybe it's the same type of thing. And Wade Barrett and all these guys that should be winning that are losing.
I mean, the guy must have skills. They wouldn't have brought him in.
Oh, he's got incredible skills.
But the build is, I am so done with it.
And Cesaro was another guy that Cesaro was all over the world. He wrestled here in PWG in California. He was a Ring of Honor guy, I believe, Combat Zone. I think
I always like to say he was the Jack Swagger to my Rey Mysterio on SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. That's right. We're motion capture experts.
He wrestled all over the world. So when he came in and went to their development, when they put him into development, usually you go there for 2 years before you're brought up to the main roster. He was there for 6 months before they brought him up. They
all love him.
Yeah,
and
he's amazing.
He's a nice guy to be.
Did you guys say there was a little wink between the dancer last week and Cena?
On SmackDown, when Fandango came down and then they kind of pulled, like they were going to go attack Jericho and then pulled back as they were kind of like doing their haha, we're not going to come down. She did a little thing and she threw a little wink at Jericho, and it just added this little character to her.
She's really good.
She's
and they've changed out with every city that they've been in,
And
a
she's
different
been 3
girl
shows
each
in a
time.
row.
Yeah, and she's the best fit for sure.
Yeah, she's got something.
No, I didn't know that. That's really, I'm not paying, I got to pay better attention.
Yeah. We have to come and talk about it, so we're forced to.
No, but that's good that they changed the girls out. And now they feel like, they got somebody stuck.
Yeah.
And for me, well, I guess you go into the next match, but the girls that are the Funkadactyls, I didn't know those girls got skill.
Yeah, and that's the next match, right?
That's because they aren't using their divas as they could be.
They're great. The Funkadactyls.
And the diva takes exception
but
to
they're
that.
not really. You know what? I think they threw the divas away, guys. I think that with Beth and all them and Eve, they're gone.
Yeah, they're. I mean, we've talked about it quite a bit. They're trying to they're reloading right now. Their divas
They're in reloading phase. It's going to take a year.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
that's why the Bellas are back.
Look at TNA and the emphasis on the ladies
knockouts.
they've got. They're different type of ladies.
Yes.
Than what used to be divas.
They're wrestlers.
And now, now they're coming back with the Bellas and I think and the.
They tried getting Cathy Kelley back. They tried getting.
Did they really?
They reached out to everyone. I think.
The rumor is that the Bellas were the first ones to take it, and that some of the girls may be sitting waiting for a better offer.
The girl, and it's not about the money. It's they want they want to be able to use the name in outside gigs.
I was told that by somebody who should know. That they left on good terms,
yes,
and that the Bellas were welcome to come back.
Yes.
Now I don't know if everybody else was welcome to come back.
Yeah, I know I think they're trying. Have they been trying to get Beth back? I know Cathy Kelley. I forget the names I heard.
Why did Beth?
She's with Edge.
And she take care of him.
Edge just went through neck surgery, and she's helping nurse him back to health.
I'm a big Beth fan.
She's
phenomenal.
She and I have actually on Twitter some stuff, so I'm a fan of hers too, and I think she's terrific. Yeah. So all of a sudden she's gone.
Our boss Maria Menounos owns 3 victories over Beth Phoenix.
I know.
I think 3. Yeah. Pinned her 3 times.
The one thing coming out of that last exchange with Fandango and Jericho after hitting those 2 leg drops off the top. The crowd relentless with the "You can't wrestle" chants on Fandango.
Oh, and you know what? We didn't talk about Fandango with the numbers.
Yeah, he was rating the performance.
Rating
3s and 4s for Jericho's maneuvers. 3s and 4s.
That got him closer to the ring. He hurt himself coming off that last jump.
And what do you think about and what does Fandango mean again?
I don't care.
But you care about the tons of funk, Brodus Clay is
Lords
sweet
of Funk
tea.
is better still.
Lords of Funk is my name. They went with tons of funk, but it's all right. Yeah, Funkadactyls taking on the Bellas.
It does work better. It works better for everybody that they've gone that way.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think?
The tons of funk?
All of them, with Albert and everybody.
Yeah, it's and now the Funkadactyls have more of a personality.
Yeah, so they're part of the story now. Yeah, they're not just cheerleaders.
It's not just a tag team with a couple girls. They are actually people with them.
And now we get to see their skill set because Naomi and Cameron are talented.
They're athletes.
Specifically, Cameron's good. Naomi is out of this world.
Naomi hits that rear view, that split-legged butt bump.
You gotta say both teams of ladies brought it tonight.
Absolutely.
They made each other look good.
And I hadn't seen, we've seen Naomi almost coming in for the hot tag before, so we hadn't really seen her selling what.
Did the splits, hit the Hurricane Rana, then took a hot shot on the ropes. Yeah. Cameron with that awesome grab the leg and guillotine style split leg drop to the rib cage. It's pretty awesome.
Who had the pom-poms?
And Brodus Clay. Brodus Clay on the palms.
Yeah.
All my questions about Naomi were answered tonight, and she's
this
phenomenal.
Was one of my favorite matches of the night. Yeah.
I thought she might just be someone who could hit a few high flyer moves. Maybe not, because sometimes you'll have those wrestlers that they can't really wrestle, but they can hit a couple spectacular moves, and you can hide their weaknesses. And I thought maybe she would be that, but as seeing this tonight, no.
In the end,
she's strong everywhere. She's strong everywhere.
It was what I'll call a low cross body that caused the end of the match, though, as the Bellas able to pull out the little win right there. Wouldn't call it an upset. That's probably who you would expect.
That's who you would expect to win.
A little twin magic.
2020.
But no AJ Caitlin mentioned tonight.
No mention. Smack that setup.
Yeah,
let's tweet Caitlin, find out what's up with this.
Oh yeah,
they're not going that way.
Yeah, right. I mean,
Caitlin does have a championship belt though around that she's got to worry about.
They'll just drop something for a while.
Yeah.
They just drop it.
Yeah.
I
would love to see.
Match 6 days.
I would love to see Caitlin come out and make an open challenge at WrestleMania, and Maria Menounos comes out and squashes her and takes the Divas title.
That would be good for us.
That would be great for us.
Maria is going to who's she bringing in the Hall of Fame?
Bob
Backlund. So she will be there. She will be out. So.
And fun fact about Maria is actually she wanted to be a WWE diva before she got into hosting.
I actually helped train Maria last year for Tribute to the Troops and WrestleMania, and she's good. Like, she knows her stuff.
Yeah.
She picks up really fast. I mean, so I got to work with her.
She's been watching her entire life. So
she has such respect
athletic,
for it. Yeah, she just respects it so much.
That's the key, don't you think?
Yes.
If you respect it.
You have to.
The highest compliment I've ever gotten in all this stuff. Matt Hardy, who I worked with when I did the whole thing, put out a tweet that said, "Mr. Belding's the real thing. He's one of the boys. B-O-I-Z."
Awesome.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Accepted into the locker room.
That's it.
That's amazing.
So do you now that you're one of the boys, do you give the pussy handshake?
No, that's so funny.
Handshake?
No, I don't fish.
I do.
I don't fish.
Sometimes.
I can't fish because nobody would know what I'm doing, and I got so these fans go, "What the? What?" Wow.
It's the worst thing ever. You're a big, strong wrestler, and you give the fish handshake.
They don't want to hurt anybody.
I know.
Yeah.
Last segment of the night, Undertaker to come to the ring. How interesting is this? When CM Punk was the champion, the whole thing going on was that the championship match wasn't part of the main event angle. Now CM Punk's not the champion, and heading into WrestleMania, he's part of the main event angle.
Yeah.
Undertaker comes down to the ring, gets on the mic, and says, "CM Punk, you will suffer for making this personal, and defeating you is no longer good enough because you're going to pay the ultimate price. The streak may end, but you will not live to talk about it." Essentially saying he don't care about getting the win on this one. This isn't about the streak anymore.
No.
This is about protecting the legacy of Paul Bearer.
Personal, yeah. It's gotten very personal.
And then,
the ashes, holy cow.
yeah, and then the music hit and the Druids come down to the ring.
We all went, "What is this?"
The Druids. This is always pre-Mania. You get the Druids, man. The Druids are good.
When you get you guys who know this stuff,
And
when you guys
start
are going,
marking
"What's
out."
going on?
Yeah.
What is Punk's got to be in there somewhere. All right, when you get that, they got everybody.
Yeah,
That's wrestling at its
that's the
best.
time, yeah.
And we all
Those
said,
are the moments
and
we
right
wait
from the
for.
get-go, we all thought that CM Punk was going to be one of the Druids for sure.
We have some music coming in?
But then all of a sudden, somebody came to the top of the entrance ramp.
Come on, Cathy. Cathy, that's great. Do the spin. Do the fun.
This is better.
So all of a sudden, we see Paul Bearer up on the entranceway.
How good was that?
And it's
That was
not
great.
Paul Bearer.
Heyman!
It was Paul Heyman.
Identical.
He looked great.
It was great, yeah.
Undertaker's pissed off. He thinks it's disrespectful. He gets out of the ring, climbs through the rope, starts climbing up the entrance ramp.
This was good.
And just as he passes the Druids, it dawns on him, I think I realize one of these Druids has to be CM Punk. So he turns and he throws a right at the
Just starts
first
beating
Druid.
everyone
And
up.
as he starts to go for the second, out comes CM Punk, pulls off the hood, and starts hitting the Undertaker.
Which I thought this was great because usually you'll get in wrestling the dumb person like, "Oh, I'm going to go," as all the fans are screaming, "Look behind you," and they don't do it. This was because we actually saw him go, "Hey, there'll be someone behind me." I liked that. It wasn't typical that the wrestler getting caught from behind.
CM Punk uses the urn as a weapon with repeated shots to the shoulder, rib cage, kidneys, breadbasket, solar plexus, everywhere else, and it all culminated when he opened up the top of the urn and poured the ashes.
And Heyman backed out of that. He left it all for them.
All CM Punk and Undertaker making the feud about them. This was a hot angle.
That was a great setup. That was the best setup of the night.
That's a WrestleMania build.
Now, getting to the match for WrestleMania, I actually read an article online. It was an editorial on like Bleacher Report or something, but they made a good point. Now, what do you think about this? Because we've said the streak can't end, right? There's no way Taker can lose.
Vince McMahon said the streak will never end.
Right. But what do you think about this? What if there's a draw? Streak doesn't end. You've got Punk. If Taker never wrestles,
the streak would be over.
No, it's not.
Purists say it's over.
It would be 20-0-1. That is undefeated. It's not. It's
the win streak has ended. The win streak would have ended at that point.
It's no because it's a draw. It's thrown out. So it's no longer
a perfect. It's not thrown out.
It's not a perfect.
A draw does not throw it out.
Does he have any draws before this?
No, it's 20. It's 20-0. It's a
there it is.
It gets rid of your perfect record streak, but it doesn't end an undefeated streak.
And Punk even said though, he said if you draw, like if this is a squash, then you still lose your streak. So.
Right, and it's technically not the streak. So, like, if you did that, the streak isn't over. You could set up to another match next year. If not, it's a big. So maybe it's not the greatest thing, but
does Heyman get involved?
Not in this one.
No.
Yeah.
Hands down, no ifs, ands, or buts. The streak remains.
But here's the thing: nobody thinks that'll end, right? And it shouldn't. But
I don't know.
It could be an interesting way to do that. If you, it would be a way around. It would be something we wouldn't be expecting. So.
Punk can take this loss and build. It's like Daniel Bryan's 18-second loss. Punk would take a loss to The Undertaker.
Punk can take it better than Cena
and make it even bigger, and he would just turn it into such a big event, even through losing.
He was so smart the way he
absolutely can do it better than Cena in that situation.
The way Punk
his manipulating powers, the way he just controls storylines, his psychological grasp.
His psychology is so good. Just like because going into this, we were like, okay, we know it's going to be Undertaker winning. How is this going to really be an exciting angle? And Punk took it to a different level of, okay, you people out there, all the fans think it's funny that my streak ended. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it upon myself to ruin your favorite streak and ruin the Undertaker's out of spite. Nothing else. I'm doing this out of spite. And I thought it was a great angle. He did it and made it interesting. Something that may not have been that interesting. Very interesting.
Hey, before we get out, we left out Miss Vicky as far as managers and a strong presence. I think Heyman on his side and Vicky Guerrero on her side are the best that it is.
I love Vicky, but I don't know if I can throw her in a list of top managers of all time yet.
Maybe not all time.
But she deserves.
But right now, she draws more heat than probably anyone on that roster.
With one word or two words. Excuse me. Excuse me. She can draw more heat than anybody else in the back with those 2 words, and anybody can with 20.
Yeah.
And I got to meet her. And again, it's family and history and tradition. Same thing we talked about with Dolph and all that kind of stuff. She's tradition and family.
Absolutely.
Show went off the air with Punk wiping his body with the ass.
It was great.
Face, his body.
I was sitting there thinking he's going to do the LeBron thing. And I was like, oh, sweet, that's going to be cool. And then he's like, I'm like, oh, damn.
Let's run through this card real quick. Team Hell No versus Big E and Dolph. Tag Team Match Mania. Who's getting the win for the Tag Team Championships?
I'm going to,
Kathy says Dolph.
I think Dolph and Big E, but
get the belts and we take them off of Kane and Daniel and start that feud up.
I think it's time to split those guys. It's been since summer, right?
I mean, anger management.
SummerSlam.
I love them together. I just don't think they're going to win.
Yes, that was August. What else we got? We got Miz versus Wade Barrett.
In the pre-show.
Barrett.
I'm
going Barrett. I'm a Barrett fan.
I got to go with Barrett.
No, I'm just saying, you think story-wise
I'm going to predict Barrett.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he's he got hurt. He's back. He deserves it.
For the 8-man intergender.
The
Tons of Funk.
Tons of Funk versus
the
Rhodes
Bellas
Scholars.
and Rhodes Scholars.
Rhodes
Scholars and the
Rhodes
Bellas.
Scholars, yeah.
You going with the mustache?
Yeah, I got to support the mustache.
And
if you love a mustache, go head over to IamSmiley.com and pick up your mustache mood ring.
Limited supply.
I had to throw the laugh.
There is a limited supply right now. I'm going to try to get rid of him at the Mania party. And let's talk about, we'll get to that in a second.
We've also got Shield versus the Super Friends.
Shield? Shield's going to take that one.
Got to take Shield.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, Shield can't lose that.
Shield can't lose.
They need to stay strong. They just need to stay strong.
That keeps them strong. What about
keeps them excited?
What about no winner?
What about
a schmoz I could see happening too. That would work. But I can't see the super faces winning that though.
And then Ryback versus Mark Henry.
It's going to go to Ryback. I wish it was Mark Henry.
Ryback.
Rock Cena.
Rock Cena.
I got Rock.
I got Cena.
Cena.
Wow.
We got ADR and
wait.
You guys just ran by that. That's a big call.
My brain is going with Clum, but my heart is going with this man.
And that's what happened last year.
And I'm like reverse because I'm actually a bigger Cena fan than The Rock.
But now you gave me a reason why it's okay. So I may have to go with The Rock.
I mean,
I may have to go with The Rock because we know there may be
something else going on.
It would be a more interesting story if it's Rock, how they do it. But I have a feeling Cena's going to reclaim his title. But
I'm effing psyched because it's Mania season and it's the best time of the year as a wrestling fan. This Sunday we will be live at Universal City Walk, John Lovett's Comedy Club and Podcast Theater. You guys could all come along and join us for only $10. You can view WrestleMania, then you can view the after party and after show podcast. It's going to be a blast. I think we got Jesse Heyman coming. I always like this.
Jesse Heyman.
I like to say it the other way. I don't know. I like the pop it gets.
You guys, I've had a great time with you.
We've had a great time having you.
No, you guys are really good.
Can you make my dream come true?
What's that?
I got some scripts here.
Oh, no.
Let's
Are we actually do this?
I want to do a couple.
I got one right here.
I got to do a couple right here.
What are we doing?
We got some Saved by the Bell little one-liners here.
All right, what are we doing?
Let's start from the top. If you can rock the first Mr. Belding line, and I'll give a Zach right here.
Zach Just because you always park your car in that same spot does not mean it's official.
Then make it official, just like my seat in detention.
There's a laugh track.
Clum, you're
Zach. Oh, who's it? That's me again, right?
Yeah, you're
Okay.
Zach, calm down. Just tell me who's threatening you.
Kelly, the killer Kapowski.
Wait. Wait. Kelly Kapowski?
Yes.
Excuse me for a minute. What's she gonna do? Spike you to death with a volleyball? While putting on button sweater, I'm taking a different approach with you, Zach.
So you're going to be Mr. Rogers?
You're in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. So he's signing a detention slip for Zach, and Mr. Belling says, so this makes 9, and 10 is...
Don't say it, sir.
That's right. Suspension. It's gonna happen, Morris.
Not until cows give Pepsi, sir.
I can't believe you guys have these. I can't believe I'm doing it.
I know, seriously.
Wait, let's skip down to like the last.
Oh, we can do it.
Wait, let's go to the last
Is there a
one.
Kelly
Last
Kapowski one?
The last one's a
Where's
Jesse
the Kapowski one?
There's no Kelly. There's only a
He
Jesse.
didn't print out any Kelly Kapowski
We did
ones.
one. We do. I said something about Kelly though.
Yeah.
The final one on the third
Hold on, there's
page.
one more page.
That's for you, Kathy. You got the
there
middle
we go.
line.
Oh, which one?
You get the
you're
Jesse
Jesse.
line.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, the last bit. All right. So, okay. Oh no, you got to do the one before that.
Okay, we'll do the Screech.
Because Screech, you cantaloupe.
Who you calling a cantaloupe? You melon head.
That's everybody's favorite line. All right, here we go. I want to know what's going on right now.
Ask Brillo Head. He started it.
Well, Brillo, I mean Slater.
And with that, Dennis Haskins, everybody. Yeah.
Tearing it up.
With that, I think it comes to the end of our broadcast. We got Mania coming up on Sunday for Ryan, Morals, Clum, Josh, JP Female Demo, Padgett, Cathy, Fatal Attraction Kelley, Dennis, Mr. Belding Haskins. I'm Ryan GQ Money Katz. This has been AfterBuzz TV. See you next week.
Yeah.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
Bye-bye, birdie.
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.